In a quiet small town in modern-day America, where everyone knew each other's name and Friday night football meant everything, lived a poor boy named Ethan Miller. Ethan did not grow up with comfort, he did not grow up with savings, he did not grow up with inheritance. His father left when he was 10 years old. His mother worked 2 low-paying jobs just to keep the lights on. Their house was small, old, and always needed repairs they could not afford. When winter came, cold air slipped through the cracked windows. When summer came, the heat stayed trapped inside. While other kids talked about new phones and college plans, Ethan worried about food and rent. Yet inside him burned a quiet dream. I don't want to live like this forever. But dreams alone do not change life. Life changes when pressure forces action. One evening, Ethan came home to find his mother sitting at the kitchen table, holding a letter with shaking hands. "They're raising the rent," she said softly. Ethan read the paper. The increase was more than they could afford. That night, Ethan did not sleep. He stared at the ceiling and listened to his mother cough from exhaustion. And in that moment, something inside him shifted. He realized that waiting for help was no longer an option. No rich uncle would appear. No inheritance would arrive. No miracle was coming. If his life was going to change, he would have to build it himself. That was the beginning of his journey. After school, Ethan began looking for work. Most shops turned him away. "You're too young. We're not hiring. Come back later." Finally, an old mechanic named Mr. Grant gave him a chance. "You don't know much," the man said, "but you look hungry to learn." Ethan worked without complaint. He cleaned tools, swept floors, and watched carefully as engines were repaired. Every night his hands were dirty and sore, but his mind was awake. He learned how machines worked, how parts fit together, how broken things could be rebuilt. More importantly, he learned discipline. While others rested, Ethan studied. While others spent money, Ethan saved. While others complained, Ethan practiced. But the journey of a hero always brings a test. 1 year later, the mechanic shop closed when Mr. Grant passed away. Ethan lost his only job. At the same time, his mother became sick and could not work for months. Medical bills filled their mailbox. Ethan stood in their kitchen, staring at the unpaid papers, feeling powerless. For the first time, he thought about giving up. "What's the point of trying?" he whispered. But as he prepared to throw away some old broken tools, he noticed something. They were useless to most people, but not to him. He remembered Mr. Grant's words. "Broken things aren't trash. They're just unfinished." That sentence changed everything. Ethan began collecting broken machines from around town, old lawnmowers, damaged drills, and scrap metal. He repaired what he could, he rebuilt what he couldn't, he created new tools from old parts. From his small garage, he started a tiny business, Miller Repairs and Builds. At first, customers were rare. Some days he made nothing, but he refused to stop. He failed again and again. Machines broke, customers complained, money disappeared as quickly as it came. Still, he continued. Because heroes are not made in comfort. They are made in struggle. One day, a local farmer asked him to design a tool that could save time and fuel. Ethan worked on it for weeks. When it finally worked, the farmer told others. Soon, more orders came. Then more. Ethan was no longer surviving, he was building. Years later, Ethan owned a small workshop. Not a mansion, not a luxury life, but he had something greater. Freedom, dignity, purpose. He paid his mother's medical bills, he fixed houses in his neighborhood for free, he hired young boys who reminded him of himself. When people asked him how he became successful, he never said luck. He said, "I had no inheritance, no shortcuts, no safety net, only effort." This is the truth. Being born poor is not a life sentence. Not having inheritance is not a curse. Starting from nothing is not the end. Your pain can become your power. Your struggle can become your skill. Your hardship can become your training. You do not need what others have. You need what others lack. Discipline, patience, courage to begin. Because when a poor boy builds from scratch, what he creates is stronger than anything handed down to him. You may not inherit wealth. You may not inherit connections. You may not inherit opportunity. But you can inherit your own future by building it with your hands, your mind, and your persistence. And that is how a poor boy becomes rich in purpose.